Hi, Shaili. Thank you
Hi,
so
Hannah.
much. Thank you so much for joining us in this space.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm fine. Yeah. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Very, very honored to be doing this today with you as my teacher and my mentor, and also a big, big inspiration for me.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, we're all helping each other in our growth and our process.
Indeed, yes, that's very true. So, Shaili, tell us a bit about yourself. Who's Shaili?
Who is Shaili? I mean, as far as I know, I'm 37. I'm Iranian. I've been a yoga teacher since 2004, actually. I started teaching in 2004, and I got my Iyengar certificate in 2007. And I became a senior teacher in 2018. And now I'm a mentor and I train teachers. I started practicing yoga as a child. So I was 10 when I went to the class for the children. And my mom had a low back problem. So she, one of her friends told her about Iyengar yoga. We didn't really know about yoga back then. That's in the 90s. And she started to go, she started going to the remedial classes, the therapy classes. And so my mom is a very strong woman, but because of her back pain, she would be bedbound for weeks, sometimes like a month. Wow. So that was affecting her life and our life, obviously. And through this remedial Iyengar yoga, the back pain became manageable and sort of went away. So it was amazing. And I was born with hip dysplasia. So as I was growing taller, my legs were changing shape. So my mom spoke to her teacher and she started taking me to the remedial class as well. So I was the only kid there.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and it was amazing, you know, just to see how that was changing my mom's life and our family life, obviously. And I was very receptive to this, you know, being belted and weights and, you know, all sorts of work. And I was really fascinated with the teacher, obviously. So she became a, you know, huge inspiration in my life. And I think subconsciously I thought, I want this thing in my life forever. But I never thought I was going to become a yoga teacher. But I love teaching. I always taught things when I was at school. Yeah. I was taught, like, you know, whoever was struggling with a subject, I would teach them, you know, during the recreation time. So I love teaching. I like sharing things. And then, yeah, one day I just found myself teaching yoga, and then it became pretty serious and just took over everything. So yeah, that's not a lot about me, but you know, as the yoga teacher at Yoga Studio, yeah, that's a bit of an introduction about my, you know, the journey, how I got into yoga.
Do you remember when you'd done your first yoga class, the feeling you had afterwards? Was it more of a physical thing, more of a emotional thing?
So when I was a kid, we left Iran, went to France during the war. And when we went back, I think I had a hard time to fit into a group anywhere. And I was going to a special school and then so on. And I think when I went to that first yoga class for children, funny enough, the teacher also spoke French, and she was beautiful. She was just a gorgeous woman. And I just felt like I could fit in and I belonged there. And what we were doing made sense. And I kind of found a connection with the kids, but I could still be in my own bubble because I'm an introvert. So that's how, yeah. There are multiple of me. I mean, the teacher side, obviously it's all about connecting. But yes, I am an introvert. So I think, yeah, with yoga practice, I could have, you know, a balance of both. And yeah, it was fun, and at the same time it was doing something serious, you know, in the Iyengar classes for children, the names are all in Sanskrit. You're doing asanas. You're not playing. It's not like, oh, I'm this animal, that animal. It's really doing the asanas.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember actually Chaturanga Dandasan was a challenge. And
Oh, yes.
yeah. So it was fun to actually work on that, you know, and now, you know, obviously I can sympathize with everybody else. But one thing that was fun was learning Adho Mukha Vrikshasana, handstand. And I couldn't go up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 10, but I couldn't go up. And then there was another girl there who was a bit older than me. And she said, I will tell you the secret.
Okay.
She told me the secret and I went up. So the secret was just be a little bit away from the wall. So by doing something that I thought was safer, I was actually failing to do the pose. And she told me just come away from the wall. And then I went up and I was like, wow, there are secrets into this thing. so it was quite fun.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, it was really nice. And I love the way she you know, she gave me this message and it became so precious. And I like the discipline, you know, I like the structure. So there was a structure, there was a meaning, but there was also freedom in the experience and you know how you were
Explore.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. And you know, we became like me and yoga are like two childhood friends. So you know, you go to each other's houses and you introduce your family to each other, you know, come to my country, come learn my language, you know, like you grow together. So this is the beautiful thing about yoga, that you know, the more you grow, the more there is to discover, to learn, to understand. This never ending subject.
Journey, yes.
And I think the way that that's how I see it. And I think the way that Mr. Iyengar taught the subject made it so accessible and so flexible. And the most beautiful thing I think about what I'm feeling right now, you know, at this age, this experience with Iyengar Yoga is the uncertainty, which develops curiosity and openness. So your mind and your body is always open to feel something different, to grasp something new, and not to cling on whatever you felt today. So I think that is really beautiful and really works for, you know, the way I see the world.
Yes, that resonates a lot with me, I have to say, because I think it was one of my 5th lessons that I took from the yoga practice into my life. I do know nothing. That's what I really know. And it's quite interesting because we do, as human beings, as you said before, we do have this need of sense of belonging, first of all, which was the biggest appeal when you were a child. Of course, as you grow and develop as a human being and you become an adult, your needs change and your perception of things change. But this is a transformation that happens every day, every hour, every minute, isn't it?
Yes. And I think it's very healthy to have the possibility to change. And so while things are changing, while your perception is changing, there is still a base that keeps the balance. You know, it's not like things fall out of place. They actually make more and more sense, and they kind of move with you through time, through age, through, you know, growth.
Interesting. So going back to what you were saying, you did practice in Iran, but also in France, and then now in the UK.
Yes.
Do you think there's big changes when you move around in the world when it comes to the yoga practice and how students see yoga?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the thing with Iyengar Yoga is that you don't have a fixed sequence. So the teachers can, you know, change the way they're teaching a subject or, you know, a pose or a theme. And that is adaptable to the group of the students, their age, the culture. the climate, the season, you know, so many things affect the way a class goes on. So I also practice, obviously, in Pune. I went to India a few times, and also in Mumbai. I also taught a class in Mumbai.
You
Oddly
too.
enough, yeah. So the thing is, there are a lot of differences, but at the same time, you feel like there is this Iyengar family you belong to. So wherever you go, you can go to an Iyengar center and say, you know, hi, I'm new, and you'll be welcome. So this is what happened with me when I moved to Cambridge. One of the first places I went to was the Iyengar Center. I just knocked, I'm like, can I come in? So, and immediately you're part of the group. It's like we have a common language, even if it's taught in different languages.
Of course.
There's something that kind of links us together. But in terms of our approach to, you know, the philosophy of the practice, or our way of looking at a teacher or Mr. Iyengar himself, there are some cultural differences, obviously. But there are a lot of similarities as well. And I think it is beautiful that, you know, we can basically adapt our practice and our commitment to our level of maturity, or how we're prepared to take this on board into our lives. So I think it depends on the individual as well. But there is this common way of, you know, respecting our Guruji, Mr. Iyengar, and of course the Iyengar family, Gitaji, Prashanji, Abhishata, and the others. So I think there is a sense of hierarchy in Iyengar yoga, which is, you might say, traditional to the Eastern countries, which I'm from as well. But it also makes sense in the West. So we have also learned to take that on board and see the value in it.
Yes, I completely agree. So when it comes to Iyengar, a lot of people do say, oh, Iyengar is not for everyone. Do you agree?
Well, yes and no. So it depends on what you mean when you're saying that. You know, Iyengar yoga can be for everyone in terms of its adaptability. So it can be for children, for adults, you know, until the, you know, old age. You can practice it safely because of all the techniques and props and the variety. You know, as a woman during your life, you know, you go through menstruation, you know, puberty, menstruation, pregnancy, menopause, whatever. So it kind of evolves with you, and it has something to offer for the need of the individual. So it is very versatile and flexible in that sense. You can practice a restorative type of practice. You can practice dynamic, a sun salutation, a jumping, an inversion based type of practice. And you can stay in the poses forever and, you know, go through the details. So these are all this one and the same. So, you know, Iyengar yoga has all of this to offer, has a lot to offer. But how is it not for everybody? I would say is, it depends on what you want to take from yoga. So you can do yoga as a workout, and you can do the Iyengar style and still, you know, aim for that. But there is much more in it. So if somebody doesn't have the patience to look further, they might very well start Iyengar yoga and fall in love with it, and, you know, find something beyond that mere, you know, physical aspect. But I say that, you know, nothing is for everybody. Everybody is free to choose differently, try different things, and see in different parts of their lives, maybe, you know, other methods work better for them. So in that sense, there's no judgment to the choices, let's say. But it's important to know that, you know, if you go to one class, if you go to, you know, one teacher, you might find a different way of teaching, a different style, a different rhythm within the same style. And Iyengar yoga can offer all that. Is that our 10-minute Timer. Oh gosh, I speak a lot, don't I?
No,
Try.
keep going. It's lovely. I bet no one is
Yeah.
going to be bothered that it is a bit longer.
Okay. Right.
So I do have to ask you this question because
Fine.
it's one of the things I always wanted to ask you. I
Whoa.
hope it is a fun question.
Okay.
So in Iyengar, we do use a lot of props. Imagine you go to a desert island and you can only take one prop. What prop would it be?
All right. So what would I take? So in the desert, I'll be able to do my headstand and shoulder stand. So for the shoulder stand, I'll just dig a hole for my head to go in as if I have my prop. So that can be sorted. What would I take? I mean, practicing on the sand, on the slippery floor is challenging, but it can also be a good practice for my legs and a good test.
Yes.
I think I'll take a belt.
A belt.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
You know, I can do so many other things with the belt as well if I'm desperate. So,
sure.
You know.
I'm not going to develop on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, I'll just take a belt.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I have to think about
it. We'll do a second round of these interviews because there's never enough time. I love to do them because it's so interesting to be talking to the teachers and especially you, as I said in the beginning, because it's things that we don't speak often because it's just...
we never talk about going to the desert. I mean,
no.
But the thing that happened, especially with the pandemic, people practicing from home, showed us how Guruji was looking at every object in his house and think, how can I use these to help others, you know? And then you kind of think, whatever is around me, I can basically make a yoga prop out of them.
Yes.
So thinking about your desert scenario, I'm thinking of what can I carve into the sand? And yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it was a fun question.
Good. Talking about the pandemic, do you want to tell me one lesson you took from the last 18 months that was brought with the pandemic and lockdowns or whatever you want to mention?
Ooh, I learned so much. And for myself and also as a teacher, obviously, I mean, in terms of the subject and also, again, the adaptability of how it's practiced and how it's taught. So I never thought we could teach from home. That was like an absolute impossible scenario in my head beforehand. But one thing that we all found out is that we could do impossible things when we all got our acts together and really went for it. And it happened so quickly. I mean, within the first month, within March, there we were, you know, online and practicing together. And then, yeah, so when we want to do something, we can do it.
We can.
Yeah.
We just need to want to do it.
Yes.
I think that's the first step, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that was wonderful. So we will have to have a second one for sure, because there's so much more to know about you. Meanwhile, and before we finish, anything you want to mention that is coming up soon or happening soon? For those who don't know, Shaili teaches on Saturdays 4 o'clock with an intermediate class, and Tuesdays 10 a.m. with an open level class.
Yeah, so this is August. I'm hoping to come back to studio from September for one of the classes, hopefully the Saturday intermediate, and we'll have some fun together.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm planning to stay a little bit online, half of my classes online and half back in person. We'll have a workshop with Kam Yoga hopefully in October.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the rest of my time is going for my own practice, learning and mentoring, obviously, for the Cambridge Iyengar Yoga.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Shaili, for doing this. And it was sorry?
This was fun.
It was fun. It was such an honor once again. And yes, thank you so much.
Thanks. See you very soon.
See you soon.